Hello everyone, Steve Rand here, otherwise known as SW Rand. I am going to walk you through this painting I just recently completed, and yeah, let's get into it. So one of the things about this painting, prior to this point, I had, well, this is a little out of order. I recognized I actually had a little mishap in the edit, but before this, I set up a couple of 3D models. I lit it. I'm using some found elements. I'm also using, I didn't really use any photo textures or anything like this. I try to get the render as close to, 90%, or, in that range, 80-90%, so I can come in and just, clean up everything. This is me just kind of going through and starting to block out everything, trying to make the render look less like a 3D render right now. Like I said, this is a little out of place, but I know I was approaching edges, kind of refining some of the elements. I also made that reference, that metallic reference in Blender, trying out the EV engine there, which I'm loving, by the way. Real time is awesome. I also want to look into Unreal, which everyone should. Real-time rendering is definitely where the industry is going, and trust me, it has a lot of potential. So right now I'm going through, like I said, cleaning up edges, kind of defining things, kind of making the metal look a little bit more like metal. Had to fix that helmet. Just kind of going around the painting and seeing what I can clean up. Yeah, just the sword right now wasn't looking too good. One thing I've been trying to work on this year especially is edges. I like this nice hard edge that drew you into the piece, or took you out rather, depending on the way you view it. Just making it look pretty. Using reference. Reference is incredibly important. So, I think with 3D models, people get all weird, or the purists rather get weird about using 3D models in work, or painting over, depending on the time you have. And I don't agree with that. I think it's really no different than what the illustrators of old were doing. Making maquettes. I'm making digital maquette essentially. I can create it, light it, zoom around it, take the perfect composition. There's a lot of benefits that surpass traditional, maquette building, or going out and trying to find reference that, doesn't exist. Or cobbling or Frankensteining together a bunch of stuff. As you saw, I was just kind of working on edges again, trying to bring some motion into the piece. Work on the wings, the arm, playing with where I want the hard edge to be, if it looked good or not. Clean up the metal a little bit. So I look at this piece now and I'm like, where's this magical blue light coming from? I think I was just trying to play around with warm and cool. This was really, it's supposed to be kind of more, when I initially blocked it out, it's supposed to be like a sunset, golden hour. And I was having a hard shadow cut through the bottom half of the piece, and it just wasn't working out. I couldn't really get the light proper, you know, I couldn't paint it properly. Yeah, as you can see, this is earlier in the process. I misedited this. My apologies, but yeah, just kind of, you know, bringing out the claws, work on the wings. It needed, in my opinion, needed a foreground element or something to kind of make it look less flat. Having a little trouble with that right there. Darkening the foreground a little bit. As you can see in the, I don't know if I did it in this piece, but I started doing it a lot more. Top corner, I have a viewer window, which helps me see it far away. You know, I'll zoom in and out and whatnot. But then I try to bring up a second window, and I'll have to do a separate video, but you change the proof setup so it's a grayscale. It's 20% dot gray, it's called, and it gives you real-time value check, which is awesome. So I do a combo of that and just using that tiny viewer window to get an idea of what the piece is looking like from far away. So you don't have to squint as much. You should always be squinting or moving away from your painting 10 feet or so. Get an idea of the shapes and forms and value. Yeah, you can see right here, I thought the ear needed to come back in. It was looking really weird to me. So I was like going to do from scratch, but then I was like, no. So I just cut and copied. Why do the work again if you've already done it once, you know? And focusing on the Griffin here. I don't know, this piece I really just wanted to paint a Griffin, you know? Sometimes it's cool, just do it, you know? Have some fun. Yeah, you can see right there, warm and cool color combinations. Even in warm spots, there's warm and cool color combinations. So it's me just kind of cleaning everything up, trying to... I remember at this point I was like making Griffin sounds while I was painting. It's always good to put yourself in the scene, you know. Sometimes when you put yourself in the scene, you start to kind of pick things up that you wouldn't, or, you know, gesture, especially if you're acting out the main character there. So right there, I'm trying to get some texture. Wasn't really working for me. Using reference, it's always key. Working the edges here. Just wanted to get this. I remember spending a lot of time on this wing, and just felt like I couldn't get it right. I almost like, I don't know, I almost like where it was, but I kind of like how this dips back in, brings you into the piece. But it might be too much of a tangent at that point. Yeah, there you go. I kept playing with it. Warm and cool. Some texture brushes. I happened to throw it, I think I threw it off a friend of mine, and he said just which I will do at some point probably, bring more atmosphere in, push the Griffin back further, which kind of backed off a little bit towards the end, but I wish I pushed it just a little bit further back in the final piece. Or his tail was giving me crap too. I don't like how it came too close to the elbow there. That felt a little tangent, and I don't, if that's a word. And I'm not sure I actually like the final placement either. If I were to go back, maybe bring it through like the chest area. I don't know. I would have to see what feels right. And I think that's it. There you go. Well, that's my commentary on the Griffin attack painting. Thanks, guys. If you made it this far, I appreciate it. If you could give the channel a like and subscribe, that would help me out a bunch. I'm just starting. I'm going to start doing a lot more of these process videos. I think that works really well for the kind of setup I have and how I work. All right, guys. Thanks.